everybody. My name is Fish Mooney, a.k.a. Devon. And welcome to another episode of the lavish, lovely, and illustrious Gotham After Show. On my left side, I have my fair-skinned war veteran, David.
Wow. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Yes. And to my right, I have my newly acquired secret weapon. I call her Violetta.
Yes. Hello. Today I'm wearing the costume of Dr. Harleen Francis Quinzel. How you doing, everybody? Missed you last week.
Oh, yes, she's fabulous, isn't she? She's just so fabulous. And at the end over here, I have my ultimate jutsu. I call him T.
Hi, I'm the Boy Wonder, and I'm an orphan.
Yes, everybody, just bring in the ambiance of the room, okay? Now, after we take our shots and everything, we will get started. So, what did you guys think of today's episode?
I'd like to talk about how incredibly uncomfortable I am right now before we move on to any topics.
Before we talk about the topics, let's just applaud Devon on his amazing Fish Mooney cosplay.
Well, I do my
Very
best.
nice. Yeah, it was really good.
But,
Okay, so tonight's
yes.
episode. Yes, tonight's episode.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Okay, the whole spirit of the goat thing, it was a little new.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I looked it up. I didn't really see anything in the universe about the spirit of the goat. Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
And we did say the whole thing about Bullock. You got to see Bullock back in the day. You got to see a throwback Bullock, which was real dope. But like you had pointed out, Vi, you said the whole thing about the role reversal.
Yeah, it was really cute to see Bullock looking like the young, eager MVP or whatever.
He was
they were
shaving.
trying. No, but the thing is, he wasn't drinking, and it was funny because it was his partner that was sitting there, throwing the flask back, and Bullock's like, "We gotta go in and save him," and his partner, who I wish I knew that actor's
I forgot his
name.
name,
He's
but
great.
he's a good actor.
Great.
Yeah,
Dan
you're right.
Hedaya.
What is
Hey,
it?
walking IMDb. Good job.
His name is Dan Hedaya.
But yeah, no, that was super fun, and I was wondering if this was like a turning point where Bullock, started to get some of his grittiness because this is when his partner got paralyzed, which we didn't know until the end. I was like, did he die from falling 10 feet? That's kind of lame. But it turns out that he just
He fell, his pulse went out for a few minutes,
Yes.
his legs were broken.
Which is the same issue everybody had with Dark Knight when Two-Face fell off the thing. Everybody was like, come on now, he's not dead.
Right, right.
Batman got 100 pounds of armor on and he fell the same height.
Right.
But that's a whole different subject, so we're going to get back to the subject at hand. And also, they had that whole Gotham golden rule that kept pointing back at us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That no heroes.
No
And they started trying to make, what was his name? David Hedaya?
Dan Hedaya.
Dan Hedaya. Good boy wonder. I appreciate that.
It's no problem. It's my pleasure to help guys any way I can.
There you go. But he was trying to describe Bullock as, what did he say, the White Knight?
Yeah, the White
yeah.
Knight.
Hey, how you feel about that, David? I know you got something to say.
That's just, I think that's really funny. Like, you look at Bullock and White Knight does not describe him at all.
Well, they had Jim Gordon and the other the old Detective Dix, was that his name? He's like Harvey Bullock, and then Jim Gordon was like Harvey Bullock, and then the guy goes,
Like, we talking about the same person here?
Yeah, and then the nurse or whatever is like, oh, should I send you the bill? And he's like, is he getting those magazines? The nurse is like, those are awful. And so I'm wondering what kind of magazines he's sending them. Like, is he
you know
sending
what
them
kind
like
of
Hustlers
magazines
and
they
stuff like that?
I mean, you would assume so, but who knows
probably
what they could
Stream
be.
and Sport.
He's sending him highlights.
Gun magazines.
That would be pretty awesome.
Ranger Rick.
Yeah.
And then we started to get a little bit more insight into the whole Barbara and Gordon relationship. Because remember last episode, didn't he say something about being in the doghouse or something?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
something wasn't
that's
right.
on the YouTube.
Yeah, what was it? What was the...
He was like, they never touched, one of the comments is that somebody asked, what's going on with Barbara and Gordon? Because last episode, almost, since they got in their fight, we haven't seen anything about them, what's going on. And they never touched on it, so I'm like, oh, he must be in the doghouse. He's living with Bullock now.
Right.
We're all buddy last
Just
episode.
crashing.
That'd be fun. I would like to see that episode, like the odd couple of Gordon and Bullock living together.
I'm just happy that they're giving Barbara full outfits now, because for the first 3 episodes, she was just wearing gym shirts and panties. And it was just like, does she leave? Like, what does she do? She's just like, she hangs out and waits for Jim. She smokes a little weed.
Popped up on Xanax the whole time.
Yeah.
Looks
for
out
sure.
at that giant clock that she lives under.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, remember he was saying like, okay, I'm going to tell you everything, or at least what I can.
50%.
Yeah, 72%. Exact.
I like
but
that.
what I feel like that's some bad foreshadowing for Barbara, because Barbara
Right.
getting in some
She's
deep
gonna
shit
get
right
in
now.
over her head.
Yeah, and I mean, Robin, you seem to think that Barbara is definitely going to be out of the picture sometime soon.
I've got a feeling that Barbara Keane is. I think she's going to be gone after this season. I think
Yeah.
she will.
Die.
I think she'll fall victim to one of the nefarious villains in Gotham.
But which one?
Yes.
And you want to say why you think she's going to be out? Because you think you see another female lady.
Because he's Robin,
Well, I
boy
think they've
wonder.
been casting a number of attractive ladies to play potential love interests for the cast members coming up, and I think that makes her character a great sacrificial lamb as in a storyline. Like,
Sacrificial.
Jim's gonna need to fall into the shoulder, you cry into the shoulder of
Yeah.
a new woman. So perhaps Barbara has an unfortunate, untimely death.
Maybe she smokes too much pot.
Maybe she,
Maybe.
Because we all know that will kill you. But I
True.
think what I was hoping you were bringing up was the casting of Dr. Leslie Tompkins.
That's right.
Because
Thank
I've
you.
seen a few pictures on the internet of the actress that I know from Serenity. But
Yeah.
you said she was on something else?
She was Mrs. Brody on Homeland.
There we go. You're
I
talking
know her
about
from
like a
The
legit
Recruit.
show.
Oh,
with Al Pacino and
yeah,
Colin
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay.
then also, who's the other? There was another love interest I was thinking about. Oh, I've always wondered if anything was going to happen with Essen, because there's that whole like affair that he has with what is she? She's like the commissioner now? I don't know.
Oh,
because in
yeah.
the comics is it the year one that he has like the affair with her or whatever? You guys know what I'm talking
David,
about?
I mean, that would be
So
good.
I was always wondering like how, if they've put her in this universe, is anything going to happen? Is he going to cheat on
Well,
Barbara with her or not?
Speaking of relationships, I mean, Montoya getting kind of intense on Gordon. Like,
Yeah.
she's going out for blood.
getting-
I mean, but you got to question, like, is she really doing this? And are my bangs looking good? They're good right now?
Right.
Okay. Just making sure. But is she doing this really to get back at Gordon, like, you took my woman, I still love her, you need to get out the picture? Or is she doing it like, I want to do some serious detectiving? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's 100% absolutely. She's like, I want my woman back.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
It's got to be. Everything comes down to your base desires.
Sure.
And what?
But her partner's equally as upset, except for all of his lines are just kind of like reminders of what have had, like, well, we've got to go back to the docks, right, Montoya? Like, he like reminds us of her name. Like, his name is never said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, dude, sounds good.
I know, I was thinking about that too. I was like, oh, we haven't seen him lately.
Yeah.
How's
I was
Gordon?
thinking about
Go-
dressing up as him, but I was like, I don't think nobody would realize that.
The whole police force is corrupt, except for Gordon.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, there's some police officers that want to do their job when it's taking
Yeah,
down
that's gotta be.
the one good cop who
Sure.
happens to be in a relationship with the other cop's
Right.
ex-girl. Now,
No, I think she's being very opportunistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, how do we feel about Bullock now? Because remember when we first started watching it, like episode 1, we was like, oh my God, he's a dirty cop. Dirty cop, dirty cop, dirty cop, dirty cop. Now we see he got a sensitive side,
Yep.
okay? He's actually going in there with Gordon in the trenches, like trying to get stuff solved now. You know what
I mean,
I'm
I
saying?
think it's smart TV writing, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a TV show at the end of the day. And in the first episode, pilot, often a difficult, treacherous land to navigate, they made him so over the top, corrupt, and bad, in my opinion. I know you disagree, Vi, and you can speak in a moment. And they made him. I mean, like he framed a person for murder.
Yeah.
Then he maybe accidentally shot that suspect so that he could never speak. It was implied that he's been part of the corruption for a long time. And I think that probably viewers were like, wait, he's so unredeemingly bad. And now they've softened him over time, like they often do with characters in television shows. They bring them out and they blow them up in the first episode. Now they realize, you kind of got to make him maybe a little more grounded. And I think they're doing that with him. He's still a dirty cop, but he's a lot more, to me, he's been kinder and a little more professional. And he's shown a lot more redemption in the
Yeah.
more recent episodes.
especially in this episode.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Because he
the
buys
whole
the
going to
hustlers.
see the psychiatrist, like he didn't even tell Jim about that. That
Yeah.
was something that he went out and
See?
did on his
Right.
own. And we don't ever see Bullock go out and do anything on his own unless Jim's pushing him to do it. And he went out and did this thing on his own to solve the case, to get the right people.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And he took her down too. Like, it was not no intense, like, whole episode scene. He just kind of like, I got you. Let
Bam.
me beat this old man real quick. Bow, got you in the
Winger in the
shoulder.
ankle.
You know, you
Yep.
guys made some good points. Go and touch the ring. Go and touch the ring. That's my boys right there. These are my boys.
Thank you very much.
I'm the
Just
weapon.
saying. Oh, and also don't forget to go ahead and check us out, subscribe, and give your shout outs again to at Gotham's Army. Okay, what's up, guys? At TV Tag Gotham and at Gotham Addicts. Guys, what is up? We talk all the time. I tweeted y'all earlier today. So how y'all doing? And now, speaking of the Marks, the Dr. Marks person, the hypnotherapist, that lady. What I looked her up. I mean, I don't know. I've never really heard about that person. Do you know? Does she seem like anybody else that might be involved in DC anywhere? Did anybody get any hints? Nothing.
If anything, I think the way that she's a hypnotist and the way she's convincing people to do bad things for her, that's kind of a little of a prelude to Dr. Hugo Strange, in a way. But I really don't know who she herself is, or the spirit of the goat for that matter.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the goat is a very demonic symbol.
And if you guys have any ideas, feel free to comment. We do read your comments if you couldn't tell. I reply all the time. I love it. I love doing it. Let us know, because I don't know. I have no idea where I'm going with this lady. So if you got a closer idea, you guys seem to be really smart. So throw it at us.
I think it's really interesting, though, that she, the thing that they kept using the phrase 1% so much. That's such a, I want to say current phrase. But when did all of those like protests and stuff happen? Like 3-4 years ago, like the 1% and stuff like that. And so it's just, I mean, these comic books weren't necessarily using this like verbiage and stuff like this in this vocabulary. So to give it that contemporary issue of like the 1%, and the working class being pissed off at the 1%. I like that. I like that, that drop of politics they're putting in there. It makes it
I can say we're all kind of upset at some rich person somewhere. We all got that one friend that'd be like, you know what, you need to work more or something.
That's why there's so many rich superheroes. You got Tony Stark, you got Bruce Wayne, you
got Bruce,
you got Oliver Queen. They got to do something good with all that money.
And also just one last thing on that topic of the characters kind of like, we're not where we Google and we can't really find backstories. I think something Gotham does a really good job of is like kind of taking the essence of characters in the DC universe and creating these new characters for this new show. So instead of having characters that wouldn't chronologically make sense because whether they were too young when Batman was still a boy to be committing crimes like they do, they kind of take like a Hugo Strange, like the essence of that and create an original villain that can kind of take the place of that, because we're not going to probably have him in this season, and it gives the fans kind of that tone that they like from the comics. So
well,
I think
speaking of Bruce, the boy's stepping up. Like, Alfred was telling him, he was like, Master Bruce, we should leave. You're the firstborn. And he was like, I ain't going nowhere.
Well, then he said that heartbreaking thing. He's like, what did he say?
He said, besides that, there's nobody to take me from.
Yeah, and I was,
and they panned in on Alfred's face.
And Alfred's like, I care about you, darn it.
I was like, well, who made you breakfast this morning? I guess I get no shout out? Okay. And then Bruce is doing his own little thing, though. And then Catwoman, we can't forget about Selina coming in there.
I love the way that they sprinkle her in. Like, don't forget that she's a character.
Yeah,
she had to
pepper her in around
she had to go like steal a guy's wallet last week.
I think it's weird. Like every time you see her, she's like almost never talking, and she's always doing some pose that's like.
Right. Like that part she got on the couch right there when he was sleeping. She hit him with a.
You could have just sat on the couch or stood there, but instead you had to softly jump on it.
Like a cat. You ever seen a cat?
Like a cat.
Those cats are so needy, man. They're always strutting around the house, doing like a little fancy.
Well, if she wanted to be a real cat, she should just knock some stuff off a table for no reason. Just start knocking his stuff off.
I think when she does all those stylistic jump moves, it's a little campy for me.
It's a little campy. That's always one thing I think about this show is I love it when they go for like the macabre, but when does it become camp and when do they actually pull it off? Speaking of when they pull it off, are we talking about Penguin anytime soon?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get Penguin. We can't forget about Mr. Nygma, who actually had a very larger role in this episode.
Yeah.
He had like a couple of almost monologues when he was talking to Kristen Kringle, I think they'll call her, who is another person we have no idea who that is.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys might know.
If you know, let us know.
If David don't know, then I assume no one knows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
I look to David, and when he says,
when he does the shrug, I'm like, I don't know, bro. She must not be real. But I was kind of excuse me, guys. I got one of my feathers in my mouth. I'm sorry.
Thank God it was just a feather.
Thank God it was a feather. You know that Russian last week. But is there has to be some kind of tension between those two, okay? Because he seemed like he was trying to low-key ask her out, but he don't know how. Right. And then I don't know if she was feeling him or not. Yeah. But they had like it could be like a sexual tension or like a.
I think it absolutely is.
Sexual tension.
It's just an epitome of manhood. Riddler, you got a Riddler who's great at solving puzzles but yet the biggest riddle in the world for any man is a woman. Right. And we're never going to figure that shit out.
That is true.
It's the unsolvable.
I think that needs to be like a quote, like the biggest riddle of all.
I'm married and I still can't figure my wife out. It drives me crazy.
But you're doing a good job because you got married, so you must be doing something right.
Yeah, you figured something out.
She said yes.
Good job.
I'm just saying. But now we can go back to the so illustrious boyfriend that you have had the entire season. So I'm gonna let you take this one and allow us to bring back up the Penguin, a.k.a. Oswald Copperpot.
Well, I was super excited to see him back and to see him talking to Carol Kane, who's amazing. I love Carol Kane. I was wondering what was going to happen with that bath scene. Mama giving him
that was a little nervous. She was like bathing him.
She's a very loving mother.
She cares.
She dresses like George Washington's wife. Like, I don't understand the point of that.
I just want to say that I called the ending of the episode.
Yes, you did. I think that we each talk about how
if you guys at home, or about every Wednesday, Gotham release 5 1.5-minute clips of the next episode. So I always watch these and I try to piece together what's going to happen in the story. And I totally called that Penguin's going to come in and save the day and then start a lot of crap in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were right, he did.
Yeah, he totally did.
He's not technically, I'm trying to think, like, he's done nothing I mean, obviously we know in the show he's committed a lot of murders, but the police don't know that, right? Like, he's not a wanted man. He's just right now a citizen of Gotham with some ties to organized crime. Like, so him walking into the police department is actually kind of a saving grace for Jim Gordon, rather than it be like, it's not like they're like, oh, arrest this man immediately.
Yeah, for sure.
But now we got to think about the whole, Falcone, because Falcone was like, hey, you got to kill him to prove it to me. Right. Maroni's like, hey, I know who the boy is. Like, now it's out there in the world because news is going to travel fast. There's too many corrupt cops for of course, the crime bosses not to know. My thing is, does this signify the end of me? The end of the real Fish?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think the war's going to start.
Yeah. I'm just saying, because, now she's back in the corner because it was like, look, he's your fault, pretty much. I feel like they're taking the blame of the Penguin even existing as her. Right. And I mean, she's doing her best right now. I'm doing my best right now. I'm sleeping with as many people as possible to try to cover up and make friends. And now
what we've seen from next week's episode, the little trailer from next week's episode, Fish just says he knows too much about me. A Cobblepot Penguin's got to go.
Yeah.
Right? So she's going to obviously start making moves against Maroni's camp, who Penguin is now with, which is going to start this big war that Penguin's been talking about.
Right.
And do you think at all this is going to affect, remember the Arkham Asylum project plan? Remember how like Maroni gets apart and Falcone gets apart? Do you think this is going to like start messing with that little treaty thing that they kind of got?
I think it's all going to get blown to bits, and that's going to be probably where we're going to head for the remainder of the season. Is probably going to be this gang struggle, and then the cops in the center of it, because they're all kind of in bed with everybody. So it's like, and then we have Wayne Enterprises. We don't know what Wayne Enterprises. Obviously, some people on that board have connections to these crime families as well. I'm sure we'll see more about that in the coming episodes.
That's one of the things I really like that they've done, that they haven't painted Wayne Enterprises as completely virtuous and like completely heroic. And I think that's, I mean, does that, to me, to my knowledge, that seems like a pretty new move, to not make the Waynes as completely virtuous and upright as, as possible. So, I don't know if they're going to make it so that, like, the Waynes didn't know what was going on below them, or if maybe, their hands aren't completely clean either. I think that's a really fascinating idea.
I agree, and that's, remember, like we were talking about last time. But also, now we're going to go ahead and see what you guys have to say. So we'll be right back after this quick little interlude commercial, whatever you want to call it, with your fan questions. So please send us something good. Be legit. Give us something hard. Make us think. Or make David think.
Just in case you missed it live.
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 In case you missed it live, I'm not fake, I'm so real, okay?
Hey, who's excited?
Woo!
she's a little superhero slut because she's so. I just pissed everybody off.
She's like such a glamazon. Join the writer team because you are hot.
And I loved it.
That is like tension beyond belief.
I found her to be deliciously out of control.
We were all just looked at each other, just like, ah.
So we can assume that you've written letters to inmates before.
Give me the diamonds. I need them for my wife.
Take charge and kill everyone.
This Holocaust coffin!
You were agreeing with me, so I think it was a great point.
Good.
You know, you can't count anything out.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
What's your shoe size? My size.
Well, that was pretty awesome.
Oh my God.
Very cool.
Totally.
Oh yes, so what I did is I I didn't know you guys were back. Yes, welcome back. Glad you staying there looking at it. Excuse my hair, my bangs. But hey, YouTube shout outs to people watching us right now. Blue Etragon. Hey, I remember that name. Welcome back, man. Music for the radio. What's up? My Revelation? Okay, my Revelation. All right, cool. Yeah. Roy Slay, pretty cool name. Nice, Nicholas Conda. I like that.
Like Anaconda, but Nicholas Conda.
Yes, but my Anaconda don't want none. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not ruling it out, Nicholas. I'm sorry they're being so judgmental.
So, fan question number 1 from @Pastor of Batman.
Ooh.
He has 2 quick questions, as he says. Any chance that a young Lucius Fox will be introduced, and will he be portrayed by Devon?
Oh!
Woo!
Oh!
Well,
From
I
your
would
lips to
first of
God's
all,
ears.
I just want you to know I would love that if that was possible. Please, I hope people get word of that. But
Well, I don't know.
For now, I'm gonna give my best Morgan Freeman impression and see if this will work. So, my name is Morgan Freeman, and I will play Lucius Fox for Mr. Master Wayne. And I will make him all kinds of swords, and vehicles, and tools. Hopefully it works. I'll be right here when Lucius comes into the picture. Thank you very, very much.
I think you're cast.
You think so?
I think you're hired.
I'm giving you the part.
Oh.
It's not mine to get, but it's yours.
Stop it. Thank you.
It's such a good character as a kind of ally to Batman, but the problem is, again, this isn't a show about Batman. So while I think it might be cool if they bring Wayne Enterprises into play more to have him be kind of maybe a voice against the corrupt Wayne Enterprises board, if that's the way they're going with it.
Well, that would make sense since young Bruce is investigating Wayne, his own company. He's investigating right now. Maybe a younger Lucius Fox, who's maybe an intern.
I was just gonna say he's an intern.
Or something like that.
That'd be
It was
adorable.
like his key into somebody who's not corrupt.
Well, Morgan Freeman's like 187 years old, so
he still
Lucius
might look
Fox
like-
was probably 60 when Batman was born.
Morgan Freeman is immortal.
Well, yeah, I mean, he played God and pulled it off, and I believe him.
I trust you. Anything Morgan does. Maybe Morgan will take the TV role. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Right?
And if not,
Speechless.
I would love
Morgan Freeman.
to do it.
Yeah.
Pastor of Batman.
Because you did just kill that audition.
Thank you very much. Yes. So, next question comes from @Starsky1490. How much backstory do you think we will get for the main characters and villains as they appear? I wasn't expecting that question, but that does make us think. I mean, I would assume it would be kind of like what they're doing right now. I mean, they're giving us like that little dash. It depends on the importance of the character, really.
Right.
Well,
Like the Spirit of the Goat, for example, we didn't get really no backstory on Dr. Marks.
No.
But I mean, with Edward Nygma, I'm assuming he'll have something when he
The
starts to
big
come
ones,
up. Yeah.
clearly, like the Penguins and the Riddlers are getting huge back, or at least huge exposition
character
and
story.
yeah, you're right, backstory. Not
because
so much.
we start right off and we don't know anything about Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
Like we just know it's his first day on the job. So what do you do before that?
Oh, he was like, they said the military thing and stuff. But.
Yeah, but it was like,
But
and
it's a great thing to mine, I think, because I personally think backstories are super, super fascinating. Like seeing the Penguin interact with his mom explains so much. So I think it's great. And even who noticed today that Nygma had a little question mark drawn on his coffee mug, or slide man.
An Easter egg, and they said Easter egg in the episode.
They did.
They referred to hiding the evidence, the penny, as Easter egging evidence. Which is probably where the term actually came from. It probably is like a police or like legal term, and then movie fans have adopted it for.
I thought it had something to do with Easter, where you have to go find the eggs in the grass. You have to look.
That's what I thought.
David, once again, you are the encyclopedia of this show. I default to your wisdom.
He is Jim Gordon, my secret.
He is.
Easter eggs.
Yeah,
You
do you guys see the
the
badge?
Queen Industries Easter egg? I saw the big Q over the skyscrapers.
I didn't. I thought it was just a big Q. But see, there
And
you
then,
go.
conveniently enough, Stephen Amell tweeted today to what's the guy's name who plays Gordon?
Ben
Ben
McKenzie.
McKenzie.
Ben McKenzie said, "Welcome to the DC universe. The water is warm."
Ooh.
So will there be something?
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. As long as I'm Lucius Fox when it happens, I'll be happy. Okay.
right.
And now we have a question from @Michael_Fricker, who I talk to every day. I talk to him today. What's up, man? He says, "What's everybody think about Bullock now that we saw a younger, more hopeful detective in the flashback?" Well, unfortunately, we have covered that topic. I feel like we broke it down pretty well. But for you, I would say that I kind of like him a little bit. Would I call him a white knight? Not so much, because he doesn't drive a white Batmobile or have like a white bat plane or like beat up people with white fists. Yeah. He does. He punches old man.
You know what? I think since the episodes have gone on, we've seen Bullock get a lot better and better.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Jim rubbing off on him.
Sure.
But then now we've got this whole thing with the Penguin walking in, and the last line that Bullock said is, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah.
Like, whoa, the fire that's going to be fighting between them. I think we're going to see a huge regression from Bullock back into that crime.
I agree.
And I hope so, because again, I'm like, I don't think he's that dirty. I don't know. I mean, like, because you go back and you read some of the other comics, and people are flipping awful, and so, I'm just kind of like Bullock's Boy Scout compared to some of this other stuff that he encountered. But so I've always thought that Donal Logue does a great job of making him super likable, and I liked him even more when I heard that when he was given his old partner the Hustlers. I was like, that a boy, take care of your old partner.
Yes, you dirty old man.
Yep.
Yes. But at the same time, I mean, what does that? I didn't even think of that. Like, what does that now do for Bullock and Gordon? Like, is because remember, Bullock he follows kind of like what Falcone says. He was like, look, he told you to shoot him. You shoot his head. I ain't got no question. You know what I'm saying? Shoot him. So, I mean, now is his allegiance and loyalty going to be more towards Falcone, or is it going to be towards the police?
Well, here's the thing. Like I was saying, I've known Zsasz is coming for a while because there's this trailer floating around the internet.
Yeah.
In this same trailer, Bullock has Gordon on his knees with a gun to his head.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and Gordon's like begging, like, Bullock, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. So, like, are we gonna get to see that next episode too?
Yeah. My guess is that Jim will be a good influence on.
Well, we know he's not gonna kill
Bullock.
Jim.
Yeah,
so.
no, but I mean, I think that Jim will be like a redeeming force for Bullock. Yeah.
That would be kind of cool if he actually did die. And then it's just kind of like
maybe
somebody like puts a mustache and some glasses on him. He comes back to life.
It's just about Montoya.
The Lazarus Pit.
Yeah.
She's just trying to get Barbara back. No, I think, certainly probably one of the most important things for police partners is trust. That's now shattered. Although that trust was based on Bullock genuinely believing that Gordon committed a Mafia murder, so it's a fragile trust to begin with.
Yeah.
It is.
So it'll be interesting to see throughout the season if that trust can ever be regained.
That's true.
I have faith in Bullock. I think he's a good guy. I think that he's, I think he's.
Well, it's like they said, maybe he's not the hero that we want or something. He's like the hero that the city needs. That wouldn't that thing they said
about Harvey Dent in Dark Knight, right?
Well, didn't they call him the White Knight?
Yeah, he was Gotham's White Knight.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if we can correlate the two, but regardless, that's definitely a big quote-unquote Easter egg, I would say. I don't know if that qualifies it either way. And Twitter shout-outs to @MacGenius27, @PastTemp. Okay, I'm going to try this again. All right. @Past EMPSPER do. So it's kind of like past Tim paper do. Okay. And @Deonte_Tolbert. So cool. And apologies to @Past, whatever the rest of that was. I don't know how to say it. Maybe we spelled it wrong. Either way, what's up, man? Or girl. Thank you for watching. And anything anybody has to throw in there besides their lovely costumes? And just in case if anybody didn't know, who are you? You let them know.
I'm supposed to be Gordon.
Ben Gordon. No, I'm Ben Gordon. Jim Gordon. I'm sorry. Ben McKenzie. And you are.
I'm Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Just making sure y'all know. Yeah. And of course, I don't think y'all would ever guess who this lovely young guy is.
I am Iron Man.
Couldn't you tell? Couldn't you tell, people? Couldn't you tell?
Yeah.
And of course, I am the Fish Mooney, aka Lucius Fox. So join us again next time, and we'll be here waiting for your calls.
We'll be thinking about you.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.
Next week.
Don't go to the circus. It'll kill ya.
People die for fair.